Hi everyone, welcome back to another Flawless Talk. I am Phoebe, a Flawless intern, and today we are celebrating Intern Week by highlighting the incredible people who make the Flawless community so special. Internships are more than just gaining professional experience. They're opportunities to learn, build confidence, discover your passions, and connect with people who inspire you. At Flawless, our interns bring creativity, compassion, and fresh perspectives to our mission of promoting mental wellness and creating spaces where people can show up as their authentic selves. Today, I am joined by someone who knows the Flawless experience firsthand. Dalgis is a Flawless intern alum, a current Flawless consultant, a former intellectual property litigation paralegal, and a current law student at Boston University School of Law. We are excited to hear about her journey, the lessons she has learned along the way, and how her experience with Flawless has continued to shape her path. Dalgis, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, I'm so excited to be here and have this conversation today.
Me too. So, like we start off every Flawless talk, how are you really feeling today?
I'm feeling good today. I've dedicated my morning to self-care, getting a manicure, just spending time by myself, reading, so doing the things that I enjoy. So it has made it a really nice day. How are you really doing?
Well, first, that sounds wonderful. I'm doing great. I'm away from home right now at a program, but it's so cool. I have a billion new experiences all around me, and I'm kind of like basking in the busyness of it all and trying to take every moment in as much as I can. So yeah, I'm doing pretty great.
Amazing. I love to hear it.
So, the first question I wanted to ask you was, looking back on your time as a flawless intern, what was one of the most meaningful parts of that experience, and how did it impact your personal or professional growth?
Yeah, so I would say that being a flawless intern was really wonderful, especially with a nonprofit that is focused on mental well-being. It's really nice to pick up those skills for one's personal life, just like knowing and learning how to lead with empathy was very impactful, and just finding ways to always prioritize oneself and like one's well-being. So that's always like really great skills to carry out into the professional world, but also the personal world. In regards to the professional world, I feel like as a social media marketing intern, I learned how to have a lot of attention to detail to really check things more than once. To make sure that one's work is polished is a really good skill that I have carried into, or I carried into my role as a paralegal and now as a law student. It really goes a long way to make sure that the work you put out is something you're proud of.
I love that. I definitely can relate to a lot of the things you said. And yeah, especially that checking your work. And I feel like for me, I've learned the importance of everything that I do. Everything's so important, especially when you're working with a team and you all rely on each other, especially at Flawless being like a smaller team. So yes, I totally understand what you're saying. Um,
Absolutely.
and then yeah, again, regards to that idea that you're taking what you learned to become a paralegal through that journey to becoming a law student as well, while continuing your work with Falls at the same time. What have been some of the biggest lessons you have learned about navigating change, growth, and new chapters?
Absolutely. So I would say in regards to change, kind of echoing what we just both shared, it's really nice that every single step in your career or life in general that you take, you always keep with you those previous lessons you learned. So it really makes transitions easier. For instance, like at Flawless, something that I know the team tends to do a lot is something like a priorities list and victory reports. And even like holding on to those exercises and other roles really makes you look like you're on top of things and like, again, very polished. So it's really like about not forgetting those lessons you have learned. Transition periods are always going to be difficult no matter what, but coming in with the confidence of knowing what you're good at, what you're really looking to improve and build on is always really nice.
That's yeah, the priorities, yeah, the organization, and that last thing statement you said really, yeah, like stuck with me. Knowing what you want to do, being confident. I think a big thing I learned as well through this is like be confident in what you want and your ideas and in your role working with people. Don't feel like you need to shy away, especially I don't as like being an intern as well. So yeah, I totally understand. Um,
Yes.
and then, like, onto that and the importance of all these lessons we've learned, there's such also internships can be such important lessons of moments and lessons of self-discovery. What advice would you give to current interns or to anyone starting a new opportunity or trying to figure out their next step?
I would say to always put your best foot forward. Even if you can perceive something as a learning experience, you really want to make a good impression. And again, building on that idea of this past that you're building or your experience or your resume does follow you. And that can be a very positive thing because in previous roles, you have made a really good impression. You have connected with the team you have worked with. So when it comes time to put down a reference, for instance, you really want your team to be happy to do so, and that is very valuable. So I would say that if you're approaching a new role or really trying to secure a new role, that you make a good impression in every way possible. You want to be proactive. You don't want someone to have to tell you something more than once. You really want to um, really understand those lessons that they're trying to teach you. Make sure that you show up with positivity and just like a general hunger to learn, and also not losing yourself. Like if you're a very creative person, that is something that can be very appreciated in fields that even feel more logical. So very much that as well.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think as I'm obviously a newer intern as well, going into this, I think for people who are just starting anything, you never really know what to expect. And it's always just like putting that clear mind out there and your best foot forward all the time and going 100% into everything. Because even things that you might not or I may not have like expected were something that I could really be helpful on as well. They do need you, and people are also very kind, I think. So taking that kindness, but also being like, no, I know what I need to do and to be the best version of myself. I don't need, even if no one's getting upset with you or anything, trying your best to be your best always. So yeah, I totally.
Yes, that goes a long way.
And then, as you know, of course, wellness is built around the idea that wellness is essential to how we show up in the world. How do you prioritize your wellness while balancing school, work, and personal goals? I know you mentioned you did some self-care this morning as well, so it ties into that.
Yes, absolutely. I very much do enjoy practicing self-care. I feel like that always makes me feel good. And as much as work is a priority, also taking care of myself is a priority. Like I tend to be a very social person. So for instance, even if I have had a busy or work week or school week, I know that it's important to me and part of my recharging is to be around my friends and my family and go out for a nice meal or just share a nice activity with someone. So it's about holding on to those like habits that we have and those moments that make us feel good is definitely how I approach, even the busiest seasons of school or work.
I totally agree. I think especially working with Flawless, you see how important it is to prioritize your well-being and taking those moments. Because, yeah, me too in high school. Obviously, I'm not going through with college yet, but I know I'm happy to be learning these habits now as well. Things are stressful, but the things that help you get through the stress in the best way you can is just your family, your friends, your ways to recharge, exercise, all those things, even if they seem like no, it's like more important to do my work or whatever. They're just going to help you do that even better. So I it's so, so important always. And there's so many ways too. It's just like making it a priority. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. And I will say, Phoebe, happy intern week. You're a truly phenomenal, flawless intern, and it's so great to see all of the amazing work you're doing.
thank you. I'm learning from the best, of course. Thank you. I'm always so inspired by all of you every day at work, when I work. So thank you. And thank you for joining me in this talk today.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.